Hi guys, producer Harrison here. This video you're about to see is actually the full chat between our co-founders Adam and Aadil, taken from this video over on our main channel, linked in the description. If you haven't seen it yet, head on over there for the full context. If you have seen it, stick around to hear all the bits we had to cut from the main video, but were just too good not to share.
So that's right, isn't it? You had like 3 or 4 engineers in. They all said like, you can't really heat pump this house at all. Practically, it's pretty much impossible, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we were redoing it, I was like, surely now's a good time to get that going.
During the full renovation?
Yeah, and then the whole house was completely, stripped back, so we could do anything we want. And I think the plumbers part of the building team were like, well, we don't really know about heat pumps, I'm not sure if they work. I was like, I feel like they might do. Googled a bit more, found you on YouTube, watched way too many videos, and I was like, this is the thing. Like, why don't we should just do this. Then it was calling sort of installer after installer. Either they're too busy if they were really into heat pumps, or they weren't available, or they were like, no, sorry, they don't work. Oh, I don't do work in London, or whatever it might be. And so that's when I kind of stalked you and walked up to you and said, how do we fix this? Because this is the most common type of property. It's like, if we can't do this, then there's no hope.
Did you think like that they must have this wrong, or did you think that this already seems like so much of a guessing game? I've done loads of digitization, which I now know quite a lot about. I know there's a problem that can be fixed that way, or like, what was the...
I think when I watched all the YouTube videos of Heat Geek, I was like, this is the same conversation over and over again. You've got such simple calculations. You've been teaching people in the course how to figure out how a property can be done. And it's not like if, it's how. It's just science. It's like a property loses heat. We need to put that heat back in. We need to do that at the highest efficiency. So I just saw all these opportunities, like doing the heat loss calculation and having to measure every single surface of every wall, the windows, the corners of the... And I was like, hold on a minute, there's a tool to do that on the iPad.
You knew it was coming out before, because it wasn't out yet,
yeah,
right?
I was at Apple, and a few of the folks there were sort of, oh yeah, we're doing some stuff on this. And it was before the Vision Pro came out and that kind of stuff. So it was connecting the dots between my old world and what was possible in digital. The other thing is like trying to find an engineer and trying to know what would work for your house. What we've now built is the ability for people to type in their postcode, press enter, and get an idea. And,
It's a pretty accurate heat loss.
Absolutely. And we're constantly feeding the data back from all the installs that we do into that. That just gives everyone the ability to be like, can I heat pump my house? And if I can, what is it going to cost me? Where's the heat pump going to go? Or the planning restrictions? And it might not be perfect, but it's a way to get that story out to the mass market so that then engineers aren't wasting their time sort of going to a house that's got zero chance, or the customer's not actually going to be interested in that.
I tell you what amazed me. Aadil tapped me on the shoulder when I was busy at a trade show and interrupted me and pitched the idea that of this new digital way of doing things. But like, what absolutely blew my mind is, how can someone understand this space so deeply and see a load of solutions, and I've never heard of them? Because if someone's at that level, I'm usually interacting with them online. And I will remember that till the day I die. This guy tapped me on the shoulder, turned me around and went, imagine this, blah, 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 and all of my problems were fixed within 30 seconds. Like, I've got to speak to you on Monday. It was a moment, and I get approached a lot with ideas. Is that's just a natural thing? Or is that
I think
the culmination of the,
Yeah, I think what happened is that's why the name Heat Geek is so amazing, is that we're both geeks in our own way. And I got really stuck into the way that you were a geek, understanding thermodynamics, physics, how you move heat and energy around a building, a property, how you get that knowledge across and communicate that beautifully to a wide base of engineers, obviously. Then if you combine that with sort of my lifelong geekiness has always been in automating homes, writing bits of code, doing software stuff. It's kind of a match made in heaven. It's essentially just being geeky about the same thing. And this is a topic, I think, like most of the subscribers will agree, that draws you in and it pulls you in. And as I said, I sat on the sofa watching time after time. My wife would walk in and be like, is it that guy again? What is wrong with you? Why are you watching so much of this stuff? And I think it's because this problem has such a huge power to really change the face of things like how we use energy in our homes, the climate impact of that, you know, the role that our local engineers play in our communities. And like, it's so powerful, but it's so overlooked. And there are so few people looking at it going, actually, this is the key. That's what I think drew me in.
So my whole thing is, and all heating engineers will definitely resonate with this, is there's a them and us sort of attitude in the industry of, you know, you might have the biggest installers in the UK and they're undercutting us, and you kind of couple corporate with that, which would include tech. And it always feels like, oh, those stupid plumbers, they don't know what we're doing. They need an app, let's give them an app. Don't empower them with education or anything like that. That's always grated me. This is actually where both sides are right, and the coming together fix the problem. The understanding of that tech side, which, as I say, when Aadil explained the vision he had to me of how we can streamline this and actually we could just do the whole nation, which is way outside of my previous sort of scope. That's the beauty of what I actually love about this, is that those two sides coming together, rather than being against, the together was the solution. And I think we both literally represent that. And that's why Heat Geek's like amazing. You've always said since the beginning, we're not replacing the human being, we're assisting the human being. What you often hear from people of that ilk, there's me going to my old ways of speaking, is that they'll go and do like some kind of flashy solution for a little thing. Whereas they're misunderstanding the users, like the installer's journey, and like completing everything together and assisting them, not coming up with one flashy spike to try and ride a wave. We're actually trying to solve the actual problem and get them to the other end of the job, right?
That's it.
But humans first.
What we're trying to do is to take the first thing, the most important thing, is the best, most skilled engineers, put them onto a platform, give them tools in their hands, and then connect them with homeowners that want to do their home, want to upgrade their home. And I think it's about the education, it's about the tooling, and it's about the tools for the homeowner that enables that entire thing to happen.
My kind of version of the same thing is, you can build digital tools, and this is kind of like what we were saying a minute ago. You can build digital tools, but the fundamental issue was the installer needs to know how to deal with problems as they arise, so they have to understand the fundamental physics. So then when you build the tools, you do it with that as the user in mind, not as a DIY as the user in mind, and then you can access super high efficiencies with less stuff going in, and then you've got efficiency of install and operation. So it's like the context of the way you build the digital tool rather than, and I'd never talked about this before, I didn't even see digital tooling as important like that, and this is why it's like, it's been super like exciting for me to go and fix that little bit, and then for you to explain that actually we can be like, you know, quite a big deal from that perspective.
We can fix the problem, you know, the scale of what we have to do, that's kind of why we need the tooling. Yeah. You've shown that you can teach people at scale through the courses. What we've added now with the platform, with the ability for engineers to earn more money, to upgrade their skills, but also to, you know, build their businesses, is that this is something that the 110,000 gas engineers that are doing the current way of doing things, putting combi boilers back on walls when things break, could actually move over to this new world, that homeowners can find them, they can trust that they're going to be able to engage with these local small businesses and, you know, with the assurance of a guarantee, and that the outcome is going to save them money. Because that's ultimately what will tempt people to go down this journey, is that if our engineers are making money, our homeowners are saving money, that's the thing that's going to convince people, and we'll cut a lot of carbon in the process.
Yeah, people first, we're making engineers happy, homeowners happier. But the actual extra like weight that was like a free gift at the end was when you explained this like concept of like the digital home that we're building, and then the feeding back in of that information, and like then my imagination just went wild. And right, we can cut down on like radiator sizes, we can really hone in the heat loss, we can think of new techniques, new ways of putting in systems. No more stuff to come out on that soon, hopefully. That's just opened up a whole new world for me. Like now I know that we can measure and feed back in.